You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live This Week, featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Derrial Christon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. I am your host, Derrial Christon, and here joining me today is the lovely Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
And DJ Jessie J.
What's up?
Apparently, I didn't get the memo that I need to wear a black shirt today. I'm in my purple, but it's okay. I'm about to celebrate the pre-Thanksgiving.
Wear your
colors. Oh, you're right. Black, purple. Black and purple. Black and purple. What? All right, on today's show, we have a variety of different topics, including the Aaliyah Biopic, which we hear is an epic fail. We also are going to be talking about Mary J. Blige, who gives her advice on how to have a successful relationship, as well as Bill Cosby is in the news again with more rape allegations. This man cannot win right now. All right, but first we're going to read the buzzer meter question from last week, which was, do you think that you can be delivered from gay? Well, you guys voted, and 100% of you said no, and 0% obviously said yes.
And you know, I was watching this the whole week. And
Me too. I was like, I thought it was off.
One person was gonna put something. No one wanted to put nothing.
No, I think it's just based on that video. I think the question they thought, they were like, he definitely ain't delivered from me.
He is definitely not delivered from me.
Well, did you see the pictures that leaked afterwards of him with his supposed girlfriend looking like?
Listen, I heard he got a TV deal or something. Somebody's looking at him for.
He ain't getting no TV deal.
That's what they say he's doing. Let me tell you something.
Well,
a year from now, he will be.
He had a producer, and they made a song that is like, I guess, supposed to be sort of a gospel song, and they're gonna sell it. And it'll probably sell. So
yeah, well, we'll see how long it lasts if it's sold. All right, I don't know.
Probably about as last as this next buzz meter question.
Right. So it goes with the topic that we were just discussing.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the Aaliyah biopic? Is the new buzz meter question.
Simple.
You guys let us know. Very simple to the point. Yes or no. We'll read those results next week.
We're gonna get another percentage like this last
Yes. Yeah, because we're gonna be talking about that. But first, we're gonna start with trending topics with DJ Jessie J.
So. Let's start with a little positivity this week. Solange got married.
Yay!
Yes,
and it was beautiful.
She looked great.
She
Beautiful.
was amazing.
She came in on they came in on cream-colored, old school vintage bicycles.
She had on a jumpsuit with a cleavage all out.
Looking real cute. Everyone was looking real cute. She did a little mother-son dance afterwards to No Flex Zone. There's some pictures of some of the people showing up. Everyone was in all white.
Janelle Monáe was hot as hell.
She was everything.
Yes.
But what really got Twitter going crazy was the pictures from the wedding. Solange and her bridal party did these pictures of them all standing in white and standing within a certain amount of feet away from each other and very artsy and whatnot. She did one with her and her husband. She did a couple of different ones of them. And everyone was loving it. Beyonce was in it. It was just everything. Some shots I was looking at Beyonce like, is there a little bump right there? No, all right. The one when she was sitting down was a little curious. But all that was great and happy and congratulations, Solange. But then guess who came and rained on the parade on Twitter? Kris Jenner. As soon as Solange had posted her wedding picture, Kris Jenner felt the need to post, if you're watching us right now, you can see the picture of her and her daughters also in all white next to each other. And Twitter went crazy because they just felt like Kris Jenner was coming for, or trying to relate themselves to the Knowles family or Beyonce in some sort. And then a couple days later, or a day later, Kim Kardashian posted a picture of her in Europe at like a factory or a clothing store or something with mannequins and her team in all white posting still shots and
mimicking the Solange
and
photo.
Twitter's a little upset with the Kardashians right now. Did y'all see the picture?
I saw the picture.
Do you feel like they were coming for Solange?
I mean, I think they were trying to make a joke. It's not that serious. But where I do think it's serious is that we just started talking about them a week ago about the KKK, Instagram stuff. lay low. At this point, lay low.
I think
You know what
that's
I mean?
the real issue, is that it seemed like, I mean, it's not, I don't feel like they were trying to come for Solange
Right.
in any way, but I do feel like they were trying to draw attention to themselves because so much attention was being put on how amazing her photos in the wedding and everything was. And it's just like, it doesn't have to always be about you guys.
At all.
At all.
At
Correct.
I mean, they had the big wedding moment with Kim and all their ness.
All those times.
Can we talk about somebody else?
Yeah. So congratulations, Solange,
Yes.
to you and your
And
family.
you did that.
Moving on, let's talk about it. It happened. It's been slandered, ripped apart. Wendy Williams ain't talking about it no more. Aaliyah, the biopic. Try again. So, the biopic came out. Everyone, a whole bunch of people watched it. 3.2 million viewers watched it live.
Second highest rated Lifetime movie on the network this year.
Now, was it Lifetime or was it on out of all
On cable. I'm sticking with Lifetime. The only other movie that beat it was the petals or the flowers in the attic. Yeah.
Which, I mean, come on.
Let me tell you.
I'll be watching that for free on Netflix.
I'm going to tell you what I enjoyed the most about the movie. Two things. One was the commercial for the Whitney Houston biopic. And two was the commercial for the In Vogue Christmas. Those are the two things I enjoyed for
Christmas?
that movie.
What? What is
Yes,
that?
we
Yeah.
talked about that.
Yeah. Those were the two things I enjoyed about
That's
that movie.
next.
Okay.
I think everybody.
Wait, I love Courtney's perception of this because it made me realize, you know what? I'm going to actually watch it because I didn't watch it until Courtney said this. And I was like, all right.
So I watched it. I really do not know what everybody was tripping about. Granted, I understand. I'm amused as hell by what went down on Twitter and Instagram. I thought it was amazing. It was hysterical. It was whatever. This is a Lifetime movie. Do you people not watch Lifetime? I'm a lifelong fan of Lifetime. I've been watching Lifetime since I was a kid.
It's true.
And we sit on Sunday and we watch Lifetime movies all day long. Anytime I just got a chill day that I'm not doing nothing, I will watch Lifetime movies all. And praise the Lord, when the Lifetime Movie Network came along, but Lifetime does not make like stellar films.
No.
Like Lifetime.
Lifetime has got some good movies.
Name a good movie.
I mean, I don't know the titles.
Exactly.
It's always something
No.
about a nanny killing somebody
That's
or
the point.
the
One
mistress
good movie.
or whatever. But they're good. They're movies that I want to
But
watch.
it's always salacious, silly, ridiculous, like pregnant at
Horrible
17,
acting.
stalker at 14. Like these are B-level movies at best.
Well, then
What
it should have
the
never
hell
been. It
did
should have
y'all
never been
think-
on Lifetime.
But
then.
that's your. But see, that's. I think that's crap. I think
No,
that if
I disagree.
First of all, Wendy Williams, you're the smartest hoe in the world because that movie got the highest ratings on that network. So you made your money, and that's what you set out to do. So everybody that was hating on Wendy, she made a business decision.
I'm not
She was
hating on
making
Wendy.
this
She's
was
not looking personal.
A
It's not.
creative, like, let's tell the full life story of like wonderfulness of Aaliyah's life. Like that was never the plan. Like I
No,
don't know
but
why
the
y'all
way
tripping.
Wendy did position it was that you're going to learn stuff that you didn't learn before. She did say that. There was
positioned
not
it
one
on
thing
Hot
I learned.
Topics
There was not
on the
one
Wendy
thing I
Williams
learned
show.
in that movie about Aaliyah that I didn't know. And the stuff that I wanted to know
But see,
about,
but
really,
that's
it
you.
glazed
That's
over.
you
But,
in the-
but
you-
people who watched her are Aaliyah fans.
Of course they
Of
are.
course
So
they are,
you want to
but
know the juice, the tea. You want to
who
know
is
what's
Wendy's
going on.
demographic? Do you know who watches the Wendy Williams show? Okay, she was drawing, in order for that audience to be pulled, she was trying to draw white women 25 to 45 to watch a show about a girl that they did not necessarily grow up listening to and were fans of. Of course, the fans of Aaliyah, like, we want an Aaliyah biopic about, but she ain't trying to do that. Lifetime is about regular women in the Midwest somewhere that may not give a two dams about Aaliyah. So they're like, oh, we know who Aaliyah is, but oh, we didn't know she was 15 and married R. Kelly. So to them, that was like big news. We knew that, but we're like insiders in terms of that. That's not who she was like
That's-
trying to pull.
I hated
So true.
it. I'm still
So
going to go
why?
with
You
I
know what?
hated
That's
it.
so true that you say that because then on top of, if you think about Lifetime and the demographic that they focus on for the movies, because I was confused that the whole movie was damn about R. Kelly and Aaliyah's relationship.
Pretty much.
And then the way they ended the movie
Oh, it
was
was hard. She just
she
she
died.
died. She gets in a
died.
limousine. She's waving to R. Kelly or whoever she was
She was
waving
waving
or
to Dame
to
Dash,
whatever.
okay?
Dame
She
Dash.
had found a new
Dame
relationship.
Dash. Who don't even get me started on
Fast
the actors
forward.
that played
I mean,
the
first of all,
characters.
Missy Elliott
The
was
Missy
amazing.
Elliott. When I saw the
That was
Missy
the
Elliott
worst.
character,
That was the worst
no,
casting.
and Timberland. I'm gonna
Timberland
combine the
was
two.
bad, but Missy was
Missy was-
Oh,
real
it was.
bad.
My auntie would have been a better Missy than the Missy that they chose. So
would
let's start
play-
there.
All three of us would have been.
I mean, hell, I would have played a better Missy. No offense to the actors, it wasn't about you. It was about the selection of the choice of who they of what they decided for you to do. That's all I got to say. I ain't dissing you, the actress. But listen, the end when she gets in the car and she waves, and then it's like, and Aaliyah died a week later in a plane crash. I'm like, let me find out something new. Give me something. I hated that they couldn't use the music. I hated everything.
But we all knew that.
I did, but I thought it still was going to be a little bit better.
I'm so thankful I'm friends with Courtney, because when she said that to me, it made all of my emotions tied to it. Because if it was on Stars, HBO, even VH1, I would have been a little more like. I mean, but let's not forget the Michael Jackson story with Flex.
Oh yeah, that was bad. You took it back. You took it back with that, but that is pretty bad.
Some of the past things that have come up.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that one.
So my thing is like I was irritated with it. But when she said that about the Lifetime thing, I looked at it like, okay, you know what I mean? Because the one movie I can stand that Lifetime is that old one they used to play in high school with the Candace, what's her name from Full?
Candace Cameron.
Remember
about the football player? Yep. Yeah, that was a good one.
So to me, like,
but those are
it's
all
focused on relationship, corny
movies in reality.
Like, but those were still better than Aaliyah Biopic.
No, only saying that because you know Aaliyah,
and you wanted to know about some really cool stuff that you've never learned before. In terms of format and in terms of style of what we see on Lifetime movies, Aaliyah's movie was exactly what Lifetime presents. It is surface. It is just the little salacious details about something. We don't really get to know how it really went down with her and R. Kelly at the end and all that. It was just the very dramatic teenage girl, Daddy, I love him. That's Lifetime.
Guys, I want to speak to this because Lifetime just did a huge ad campaign for that Big Driver movie they made, which is a Stephen King novel, which got guys interested, got girls interested, because Stephen King is a good writer. The Stand's great, The Shining, all this.
Love Stephen King.
Was he involved with it?
He wrote it, yeah, but I don't think he wrote the screenplay for the movie. It sucked. It was probably the worst thing I've ever seen, but I was super excited because they have an amazing ad campaign for everything Lifetime's been doing recently. They've been pushing the marketing in a phenomenal way, and they shot themselves in the foot with the Aaliyah movie.
Well, this makes me unexcited for the Whitney Houston movie.
Why would you be excited for that?
Because I thought it was going to be something that I would learn new information.
First of all,
I want to see Whitney on crack.
No, let me explain something.
This is not the movie theater down the street. This is Lifetime Movie Network.
And not only that, look at the movie Selena actually used Selena's vocals. Did you know that the only 3 words that Jennifer Lopez sang was that first when she goes "Como la flor"? That's the only 3 words that Jennifer Lopez sang in that fucking movie. I'm just saying. So anytime, as soon as they said the Aaliyah movie ain't gonna have Aaliyah music in it, this is irrelevant to me. I can't take it seriously as
story
that.
Of her life.
You know what I mean? Aretha Franklin out here right now suing books because they telling her damn tall tales. You know what I'm saying? So it's just this is what it is. It's on Lifetime. Let's not expect any more from it. What I need her family to do is to find somebody to make something right of this, because Aaliyah's story does need to be told. I mean,
it needs to be a movie,
let's look at that movie,
a real
Notorious.
movie.
They don't want her story told, for real.
Who, her family?
Why? Well, all right. We spend so much time on Aretha.
Why?
Not for real. They want to tell the pleasant, wonderful stuff, but we ain't gonna ever really know what happened with R. Kelly.
But I would support just a movie of just the pleasant stuff if it was done correctly.
If it was done correctly and they used her music.
No, that would be boring.
I wanted to see some studio stuff. I wanted to see her make One in a Million. I wanted to see. There was a lot of stuff that just was glazed over. But you were about to give me on the topic.
Get that on Lifetime? I'm confused. Do you know?
Maybe I don't know Lifetime.
Know the Betty Broderick story?
Hey, that was a good story.
I'm just saying.
Betty Broderick was a good story.
But
don't get it twisted. That was a good story.
Shit. I can't. I just can't.
All right,
moving on.
From
one sad story to another. 106 in Park, after 14 years on air,
It's a long time.
is being canceled. Aww. Well, sort of. It's being taken off of the channel and brought to digital. I don't really know what that means. I don't think they really know what that means. So yeah, so they're getting canceled, but they will still be doing specials and stuff like that on air. They want to keep 106 in Park alive, but it's just not getting the ratings. So Twitter went ham. Twitter's excited about this. Everyone's rashing on this. Here's my thing. Because I saw that
people are mad, or
well, no, I mean they're happy. They're rejoicing that it's over. I'm irritated because 106 in Park isn't the best version of this type of show, but I think these types of shows are important. It saves the music video. I go back to MTV TRL.
Does save the music video.
There's nothing like that, and there's something fun and wholesome and not. I don't know, with all we have on TV, we don't have like a platform like that. And I think it's really important. It's funny, as I was reading the article before I got to the digital part, I was like, if it's not going to work on TV, it has to move online, because something like this is still needed. Like, the music video is so important to me as a person.
Me too, absolutely.
And I feel like
But
we
grew up in the era of the music video.
Yeah, you know,
we
it's
need to
interesting.
find a way to rebrand that and make it important again. I wonder, I was saying this, and then when I read that they're going to take it digital, I think it might do better.
Yeah, because kids are watching their videos online now. They're not watching it on television.
They're just not watching on television, because
And
I know
it'll
that
be
even
interactive.
Revolt has had that problem too. I mean, they haven't gotten the ratings that they expected.
Well,
to have.
Revolt
And
is
that's all
also on
music
channel
videos.
978.
Right.
If you buy
I mean,
the most
it is like
expensive
up
TV
in the
package.
clouds of
Revolt, 'cause
channels.
I passed it one time when I'm like scrolling through and I don't know where it is anymore.
But I love Revolt though. I mean, it gives me that music video
I
feel,
heard.
but you got to find. You do have to find it up in your 900
I don't
channels.
watch music
I agree.
videos. I'm too busy watching Lifetime.
Yeah, clearly, the Aaliyah biopics, all that stuff.
So shout out to BET for making that move. I'm hoping that it's gonna boost
Does
your
that mean
digital views.
Shad doesn't have a job anymore?
Well, I think
Yeah, he's on
I'm pretty
CSI, isn't he?
Yeah, he is on
that's right, he's
CSI.
on CSI.
They didn't talk who they're gonna keep as the host. The female host, I just can't. No shade, girl. But
I just interviewed her this year at the BET Experience, and she just started. But she's a music artist too.
So
she
she
has
should go
albums,
do
so
that.
she can maneuver into
Go do
that.
that.
Yeah, you did. You
you
kind
know,
of just shunned her.
So I
to the
mean,
left.
but they might still use them and keep it on the digital platform. So I don't know. But I think that's a great idea, BET. I'm excited.
Are
to
they
see
going to
what
do
they
a final finale and bring back AJ and Free?
No,
and,
today was the final finale.
or
They
not?
don't even get a.
Dang, they don't even do a
I mean, TRL
sayonara.
did a
Let's-
nice like sayonara episode.
Yeah.
Where we really got to go back because TRL
Yeah.
was like it.
It was
Wait,
the-
okay,
kinda
can we
bogus
have a
that
little
106
moment
and
here?
Park didn't do
What's
that.
your favorite 106 and Park moment? I know what mine is. History. It made to me. It made history when Michelle Dam fell. I will never forget that day in my
yeah, 'cause
entire
we were
life.
walking.
Actually,
she
I'm
was
gonna be
like,
fine.
"What?"
And there's a reason behind this, but it was when Tom Cruise came on 106
yeah?
Park, because I was
And he
like,
did the bike
and he
thing?
did the bike thing. And the reason that's a favorite moment, because I was like, wow, that's when I realized I was like, black television means some stuff in mainstream business. When Tom Cruise, the #1 white dude in the world, comes on 106 and Park, that's some real right there.
Or Free and Halle Berry when they were crawling on the ground doing the Catwoman.
Oh yeah.
Girl, all over the couches and stuff like that. But I used to like the little New Year's specials. They were cheesy, but like when
Yeah, I mean,
Sierra would come out there and
is
do
what it
There's
was.
moments. It was what it
That's
was.
what it was. It
So
was
shout out to y'all.
a moment in time.
Yeah. All
That
right.
has now passed.
Now we have
Thank you,
passed on.
Jesse. Now we're gonna move on to the gossip and rumors with Courtney Stewart.
Okay, so speaking of television and new things coming, get super excited, guys, because there's a new series and it's coming to VH1. Guess what it's called? Oh, snap. It's called Bye Felicia. It's 2 black girls from Atlanta. They're life coaches. Their names are something I can't see
Deborah
right
and
now. Deborah
Missy.
and Missy. And apparently they have a very no-nonsense attitude towards life coaching, and for some reason, VH1 thinks it would be amazing if they life coach white women out of their problems. So these 2 ladies are gonna take on a bunch of white ladies and get them sassy and help them say goodbye, aka Bye Felicia, to all their problems.
This is a very interesting show. I saw the clip to it and I was like, is this scripted?
Yeah, I thought it was scripted when I saw the clip.
And VH1's executive says, Deborah and Missy are 2 of the funniest women I have ever met. We are so excited to introduce them to America. Yay. The reason this is a problem, y'all, because it sounds, like it might be all right, but some people are upset. Social media went a blast again, and basically they feel like, well, first of all, there's a similar show on Lifetime called Girlfriend Intervention, where it's the sassy
That's with
black
the
girls.
Bad Girls Club chick, right? Keisha or
Tanisha.
Tanisha? There
Tanisha,
you go.
yes. And where it's like the sassy black girl getting the white girls together. I don't know if on Girlfriend and Intervention they specifically only use white girls, because I've only watched like 1 episode, couldn't take it. But the point is that VH1 is just using white women that the black women are fixing, and it's like a sassy rent a sassy sister to help you out, and it's kind of just not so fresh, I think.
It just did not come off authentic. It came off really weird. It felt like the girl, the one I saw was like this girl in a job interview, and one of the girls is interviewing her, and then it's like a team of people watching this girl interview, and like the girl just seemed like they found her on a crack alley or something, and were like trying to have her apply for like a serious position, and then they're like, "What'd she say? What'd she do?" And I'm looking at it like, why would you expect anything more of this girl?
Let me find out the VH1
Was
is
this
the new
scripted?
black television
It is.
channel.
It has
I mean,
been
it's
for a
been,
while.
yeah.
I know, but I mean, like now it's for. I mean,
Well-
everything that they put out is just black targeted.
But it's been-
African-
honestly,
It's
it's-
been that way for quite some time.
But I feel
And
like
it-
some of the reality stuff they still try and kind of.
Well, like the Rock of Love thing.
Yeah,
it was
you know
like,
what I
it was
mean?
like,
Like,
oh,
that
we're
kind of
getting a little
back
too
then,
But now they
but
just
as
like
soon as-
they're
no,
like,
as
let's just
soon
go
as-
hood.
As soon as Love and Hip Hop
Yeah.
blew up, that they like steered, which is interesting though, because then they introduced their morning show, VH1 Morning Buzz. That's like not that demographic at all.
Well, maybe they figure, oh.
I thought
But they
were
did
trying
just
to
hire a
go
black
with
girl
in the
for
morning.
it.
Yeah.
They did just hire a black girl for it. She just won the Morning Buzz competition. She's going to be co-hosting with Nick.
Cannon?
No,
Or-
Nick.
Well, Nick
Lachey.
Nick Lachey. There you go.
Whatevs. Nonetheless, you want to watch some sassy black girls tell some white girls what to do?
I'll pass.
Go ahead and
Even though I
watch
know
that.
I'm going to watch it. I know I'll watch it.
I'll probably watch
watch
it at
the
least
fir-
once to
yeah.
see, like, for real. But why did it happen? Whatever.
And why is it called that?
Good luck, y'all.
Yeah, why is it called Bye Felicia? Bye Felicia. Let's go into the
And
next
it's like,
subject.
Bye, Felicia, it's stupid. Moving on. Kim Kardashian, back in the
Again?
news
Jesus.
this week.
This is,
So
I think
we
this
talked
is
about her
interesting.
booty. I thought it was fascinating, and also based on our discussion last week. So we talked about last week how she, displayed her booty to everybody with some grease on it on Paper Magazine. Well,
For free.
For free. So the interesting thing that happened is that picture spiked the sales of her porn tape, and basically drove an additional $50,000 towards Ray J's pockets, because Ray J still get his money from it. And for somebody who's trying to like get out of porn, it's kind of sad that you fatten up the pockets of your ex-boyfriend in your porn tape for that. So basically, he's making about $90,000 every 3 months from the tape.
Wait, excuse me. Repeat that number again.
He's been making 90, how much?
He's been making $90,000 every 3 months. So basically about $30,000 every month from the tape already, which I still feel like that's got to be an overestimation. But he ain't really getting money from nowhere, like, other than Love and Hip Hop now. But like before then, what was he really getting money from?
Well, okay, I'm gonna say this. So
it makes sense.
Farrah Abraham, is
Yes.
it Abraham from Teen Mom? Is it Teen Mom? Yeah. She was on our sister station AfterBuzz, and they did a spotlight on interview with her, and she was talking about how much they do inflate the numbers,
Yes, the
of what
numbers.
they say. Because she said there was a rumor that she had made like I'm gonna say $1 million off her sex tape, and she's like, that's not true.
Yeah.
She made like half that. She said they inflate the numbers all the time because that helps promote
the
other
sales.
people to want to
Yeah.
make a sex tape to sell, and then it's all a game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I'm like, first of all, it's 2014. I've seen that porn, and
I'm like,
I
has
never
it
had
ever
to
now,
been
pay for it.
granted,
Who
to the
pays for
Kardashians'
it?
defense,
Well,
people
it's
may
like
be
cheap.
paying for
like,
that
you
one
can
still.
clip it. You can like, from what I understand, I've heard that you can like, it'll like come up in an ad on the side, and like you can click it and then watch it for like $2.99. So it's not like crazy expensive or anything, but enough of that happening
Yeah.
constantly because people are clicking ads. Like,
It's not
it
even a
adds
Kim
up.
Kardashian. It's not even a good porn tape.
But I'm just like,
It's not even a good
I
porn
just
tape.
don't. I
She
mean,
don't even look like that no more.
She don't even look like that no more. Right.
I know it's like a different person, but it
And-
just kind of just
yeah.
goes to the whole conversation last week. Like, why did you really do it? To increase your porn tape sales?
I'm not mad at Ray J. I mean, hey.
I mean,
I'm
hey,
not mad. I'm sure he's not mad either.
Yeah.
and technically now I know why he wrote that song. I hit
That's
it
the
first,
smartest
like,
dick move he's ever done.
Literally.
Literally.
That's the smartest punan you don't ever hit.
That was that was a good business decision right there.
There you go. So
Damn, I need
keeping
that
it
in my
rich,
life.
Keeping it tight. Dariel's gonna make a sex tape and try to achieve the same.
But I need to find somebody who's going to be famous in 5 more years.
We'll have to think about that.
We'll find one.
All
Great for
right.
VHL.
Speaking of dick tricks, there will be none of those happening in Mary J. Blige's wedding or
No,
in her
ma'am.
relationship. She has been married to her husband, Kendu Isaacs, for 11 years. I'm sorry, y'all. It's real hot in here, so I just have to keep
It's
fanning.
hot.
So they've been married for 11 years, and she was interviewed recently by The Telegraph, Stella Magazine. And they asked, like, what are the keys to sort of like keeping the relationship together, keeping it healthy? And basically she was like, he can't have no female friends, I can't have no male friends, and that's how we keep it light and keep it tight. A lot of people were like, what? He can't have any female friends? Like, really? And she's like, I've seen it happen all the time, and I've never seen it work. So neither of them are allowed to have friends of the opposite sex.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that can be true?
I think that in theory, it is a practice that like you should not be acquiring opposite sex friends when you are in a relationship, or I mean same sex if you're in a same sex relationship, just because that can put you in situations of temptation that you don't necessarily need.
True.
But if you had for real friends before, like in my situation, I had really close male friends before. It's not a bunch of them, but it's a couple of them, and Well, I guess my boyfriend doesn't really have any close friends, but he doesn't really have any close friends. But so
it doesn't matter the sex.
But now he's like doing other things. He's like doing this like Japanese group, so he's meeting like women that are at his group, and he goes and they learn Japanese and do stuff together and whatever. And I don't personally take real issue with it, but I can understand what she's like getting at. Like, I don't forbid it in my relationship, but I can see that like in a marriage, like,
So like a case by case
sort of like, obviously if you like hanging tough like all the time,
Apollo
then
at the
that's a
strip club.
problem. But I get where she's coming from, but I don't know if forbidding it is like for real. Like, I don't even know how you really do that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I
Show
was
up
going
at the
to,
beach.
if I was involved
doing?
with someone,
You his friend?
You his friend? What you do? No. If I was involved with someone who forbid me to have opposite sex friends, I wouldn't be with that person, because to me that's a strong insecurity.
True. I do see that.
I don't.
think it's an
Then first of all, I don't want you.
insecurity,
I don't want
though.
you forbidding me to do anything. I'm a human, just like you a human. Don't forbid me to do anything. I'm not going to forbid you to do anything.
You getting
So
personal with that?
no, I'm not being personal. I'm being serious. No, I just think that I hear people talk about this all the time. They were talking about it on The View. Rosie Perez was going back and forth with I believe it was Whoopi, maybe, who brought up the subject, and Rosie was saying that her man can never have, you know, any friends who are female. She agreed with Mary J. Blige. And then actually it was Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell was like, I don't care. Like, you know, if you're secure with who you are, then...
Well, I think it's also maybe not secure about who you are, but being like, I mean, we've had an issue in the past before, and I know what you doing, and I know you're flirtatious, and you don't, like, because...
But I don't think it's an issue of security all the time. No, because if you
That's an
think about it,
insecurity.
it's not. Because put yourself in a situation where you're working with somebody all the time, and you become friends with them, and the bottom line is we're just humans, like, we're people. So you get in a relationship with somebody, and it's just a friendship. Like, you don't mean anything by it. You have no intentions whatsoever to do anything. Like, nothing ever crosses your mind. One time y'all happen to like go out after work, and we're gonna go get drinks, and then something gets a little inappropriate because people were drinking, and we're cool, like, we're good friends and we're close, and like, that's just intimacy that is constantly being built. So it's really easy to slip into a situation, and that's not to say you would sleep with them, but you could end up kissing somebody, or somebody might get the wrong idea about how you feel about them, which causes drama in your relationship. So I understand, like, it's not necessarily about Mary J. Blige being scared he gonna cheat on her and being insecure about. It's about
That's
the
what it is. I
idea-
heard those albums. No, I'm
Exactly.
joking.
But it's about putting, when you're,
not joking,
especially when
for
you're
sure.
married, you have to be aware of and cautious of what you put yourself in, like what situations you put yourself in. And I think the idea behind it is don't put yourself in unnecessary temptation type situations.
I respect that.
Like, my parents have been together for 37 years, and my dad don't be going out like, oh yeah,
Hanging out with the girls.
me and Chelsea are going out tonight. We go, you know,
Exactly.
go kick it. My dad has female friends through work, through even from like back in the day, who he just grew up with, you know, in the Greek community. But best believe if he going out with Chelsea, Laura,
Mama's gonna be there.
Constance
Connie's
is
gonna
gonna
be
be
there.
right
It's still,
on up
it's
there.
still
Like,
that's a very fine line to me, because, okay, for example, Courtney, you and I are cool, right? I know your man AJ. If you and I went out for drinks, or if I call you, which I have called you on the phone to ask you certain things, is that a problem?
You calling me and asking me something is different. But I personally, in most situations, unless it's like lunch, I'm not gonna go out to dinner with you. And that's just my choice. Like, I would not just go just for no reason. Like, if we had like something work related that we needed to talk about, but I wouldn't, just because things can look a certain way that you don't necessarily want them to appear that way. So I just don't believe in putting yourself in situations like that if you don't have to.
And
like,
that same mentality.
and that's just, I mean, and I don't, and it's not to say that you jump my bones and I jump yours in the car ride on the way back. That has nothing to do with it. It's
AJ,
just
that would never happen. Don't be calling me later. AJ, her man, done.
her man.
It's just out of simple respect, because it can look
I feel you.
inappropriate.
And it could cause something, maybe y'all are fine, but someone's seen something and starts spreading around
True.
somewhere.
I mean,
somehow-
it's the
and
other
especially when
effects
you're
with it.
famous or whatever, like, you don't know, rumors and chicks be on some other stuff sometimes coming for people's man. Just like, I mean, men aren't as bad, I think, about it. I think of it, whatever, but there are definitely girls that would like try to set him up and like be up in his face, like, oh, we're friends, we're cool, and do something inappropriate or take a bad picture, and it just, it's unnecessary. Relationships are tough.
See, when I'm in a relationship, you can't have no friends. We have
just
friends.
like we are friends.
You can have a dog,
with
you
the
can't have no
dog.
friends.
No, you can have a dog, because that's going to be your only friend. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, I mean, in the end, like, you're going to know people and you're going to be associated with people. But, like, building friendships and serious relationships, like, after you've gotten in a relationship, like, that can get murky.
So you want to be friends with her? That's fine. You go be friends with her. And don't come back because the locks will be changed.
Wow. I'm glad I'm sitting on this side of you two. All right.
I mean, we hot right now, so we just irritated.
Irritated about everything right now.
Derrial just fine. Just like, I'm going out without a girl. I damn want to. If I want a drink, I'm going to go get a drink.
Mm-hmm.
I get a check on the side of the bill.
Oh, see, here we go. That was Courtney. All right.
Well, speaking of
inappropriate, right.
I don't think we're allowed to laugh. Hold
Oh,
on.
yeah, right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, first, I thought you were doing an AfterBuzz read.
Bitch, that was supposed to be two topics ago, so we skipped
All right, fine. All right, we're going to go to the ER Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Of the week.
All right.
And we're not going to have our music today. We'll just make our own sound effects. All right. So another person who has been inappropriate, who probably won't be friends with Mary J. Blige, is Bill Cosby. He has been in the news continuously the last couple of weeks, and it does not seem to be getting better for him because of all these rape allegations. I feel like every day a new woman comes out and says that he has been inappropriate with him in the past. He allegedly, from the beginning, is that Bill was taking these women, giving them some type of rape drug, and then also giving them liquor where they would pass out, and he would have his way with these females. So, you know, the pudding pops were in full effect. I should not make jokes with that, but now we have Janice Dickinson. Lacing pudding pops. The former supermodel Janice Dickinson has also gone on record and said that Mr. Cosby was inappropriate with her. She has pictures actually that were just published today on TMZ.
What were they of?
It was showcasing Bill in his robe and in his malt liquor beer that was sitting on the counter next to the counter. And apparently he has the same line with all these women, and at least he's been consistent, I guess, because he tells them, I can help your career, referencing how I can help you be a star. Another woman who also just came to the forefront is Lou Ferrigno, who played the Hulk. His wife, Carla Ferrigno, said that she was sexually assaulted by Bill Cosby, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Mr. Cosby did do a appearance last night, I believe, in the Bahamas, and it was a 90-minute set, and he has been forbidding people to ask him any questions in reference to the situation and the rape allegations, and his wife Camille was with him. Has been silent, but with him throughout this entire process. Now, the unfortunate thing is Netflix and NBC have both decided to pull their projects that they were working on with Bill. Netflix was supposed to do a comedy special celebrating his 77th birthday, and NBC was exploring a project that was going to be kind of like a primetime Bill Cosby type of style special. They wanted to do something fun and creative, but they hadn't really set the tone yet on what they were going to create. But both of them have pulled out. TV Land has decided to cancel the Cosby Show. So I feel sorry for the other actors on the show who don't get the residual checks now.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, the two networks that have stepped up is Centric and Aspire, who both have decided to support Bill Cosby because they said these are all allegations, and they said they will not be taking the Cosby Show off of reruns so until they know further information, because once again these are all allegations. Mr. Cosby also did a recent interview. I don't know, Stephen, do we have that link for the interview that I sent in? If not, it's fine, but we sent a link in for an interview that he recently did where he was not supposed to be asked questions about the rape, and Mr. Cosby got pretty upset about it when it was
As he should. I mean, this is something
Yeah.
legally going on. Why would he speak about it to
the public? Yeah. Well, his I guess we don't have the link, but you can check that out you can Google it or you can go on YouTube because the link is there. It's I think it's an NPR.
Is it the NPR? He did an NPR interview, but he also did the Associated Press thing.
Oh, it's the AP.
Leaked.
It's the Associated Press interview that got linked, and it's him getting pretty upset with the reporter.
But it was supposed to be off the record.
Yeah.
And they leaked it anyway. Which is like very not okay by the Associated Press.
Yeah. Now, also, his lawyer, his name is John P. Schmidt, had this to say about all these recent allegations that just made the news. He said, most of these are old, discredited, and absurd. Those were his exact words. And they also have been comparing Bill to Mr. Slick Willie Bill as well, because they're saying how it's interesting that Bill Clinton had not the same type of sexual kind of allegations towards him, because obviously it was consenting. Monica Lewinsky wanted to get down with Bill, but they're saying that Bill Clinton was able to have this scandal and then still move on and not be judged, and they feel as Bill Cosby being an African American man that he is being judged harsher than Bill Clinton. Now my only thing with that is that, once again, these are rape allegations versus,
these are rape
versus
allegations.
just a blowjob.
Stepping out your marriage.
You know, so what do you guys think about this whole thing that's going down with Bill Cosby?
Bill Cosby to me is like my. This is gonna sound so weird in some ways, but he's like my Michael Jackson in the sense of, for me, he's the reason why I got into stand-up comedy. Him, Jim Carrey, and Robin Williams were the three people who I grew up to watching this stand-up and inspired me. And I would sit and listen to Bill Cosby on record, go in the mirror and repeat all the jokes and copy his facial expressions. So it's really hard for me to. I'm going to be honest. I really am not following the story because it is allegations, and I don't want my. Robin Williams was tainted for me in the comedy world because of things that people told me, and so I lost that little love for him, and I don't want to lose that for Bill if these are false and whatnot, and so it's kind of a little touchy for me to talk about Bill, but I hope not. I really hope that these women are just thirsty. But I mean, it's too many of them.
And they're all saying the same thing. That's the only thing.
But I mean,
now, I don't believe Janice Dickinson. I don't
ever believe anything.
We have an insider friend who helped put together that interview, and allegedly, she was paid a decent amount of money, and they basically said that she would say anything. Now, these are alleged rumors. I don't know if it's true, but that I mean, if who knows if it's true? But it would make sense.
It would make sense.
But now the only thing I can say, all these women are saying the exact thing.
The other thing is the conspiracy theorists have come out and they've said the networks have been against Bill Cosby for a very long time, and a lot of people have been against Bill Cosby for a long time. And so that's one thing with the Bill Clinton versus the Bill Cosby thing. Bill Clinton was at a high place in his career and life when that happened.
Right.
Whereas Bill Cosby, it's kind of like, ain't no one talking about Bill Cosby. What's the last relevant thing Bill Cosby did? And I don't know. So they're saying that these things could be planted and to kind of taint him and get him off of television because the networks supposedly don't want him to be doing.
They want to keep it ratchet.
Keep it ratchet.
And he's trying to bring wholesome. I mean, I don't know. That's conspiracy
theory.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's totally possible.
Yeah.
And my personal opinion is that some of it's probably true and some of it's probably not. I think that the thing that's disappointing to me, I guess, is, for instance, with the Cosby Show, and I get, because obviously there's consequences to what you do, and unfortunately that's one of the consequences, but I have to say that at a bare minimum, whatever's happened with him as a human being, as a person in his own life, whether he's a rapist or a molester or whatever that is, it's awful. I'm not condoning it. I don't think it's good. I think it's very, very unfortunate. But I think it doesn't diminish what his art meant for black people in terms of the face of entertainment. And it's sad that he's destroyed sort of in our visions as a man, but it just reminds me, at least, that we put so much weight into these human beings as entertainers, and when they fall, we're devastated because we've placed them on pedestals that they've never deserved to be on to begin with.
True.
And that doesn't mean that his art did not mean a lot and didn't change and open doors in ways, and that I personally believe that you can hold on to that and still honor that, because the bottom line is, without Bill Cosby, a lot of and a lot of opportunities would not exist for people.
We wouldn't have the #1 show on ABC, Blackish, right now.
Exactly. And that's real, and that's honest, and that deserves the respect that it gets. But him as a person, Bill Cosby, obviously does not necessarily deserve to be this pinnacle godfather of black people. And that he, on a certain level, he didn't really ask to be that. We sort of placed him there because he was the example, and we just have to remember, people are people, and they are definitely not perfect. And all this weight and belief, and we let our kids believe these people are so awesome and amazing and whatever, and let them be their idols. It's just, y'all better just start looking to God, because that ain't working. The man ain't working.
The two things with it too is that, unfortunately, now with his legacy, this has contaminated it forever.
Contaminated
It doesn't matter. I mean, even if we find out that most of it isn't true, and maybe one of the things are true, or even if none of them are true, it's still tainted his legacy so much. I don't know if it'll really. They're always going to believe that. Yeah. They're never going to believe that he didn't do any of this stuff. And it's unfortunate because he's 70 years old, and like you said, I mean,
this is how he's going to go out.
This is how he's going to go out with his career. And two, it's interesting to me that all the women, from what I've seen, have been Caucasian women that are making these allegations. So, you know, whether that's his fetish or whatever it may be, it's just interesting that that his wife has stayed so mum, but maybe that's what the smart thing to do.
I'm pretty sure their lawyers were like, "Don't say."
Yeah, but how do you think it's going to turn out? Do you think that? Because I'm like, what are people trying to get from this? Are they trying to sue him? Are they trying to?
Well, they've already sued him. He already settled.
Well, he settled out in 2006. Yeah.
So there's nothing. If anything, I think now, well, somebody, I think it was TMZ earlier today, was saying they think that he's going to come out swinging now, and these women are going to start to be attacked for their backgrounds and what they really are about. Because one of the ladies that accused him, the stories are already coming out that she's been in jail for fraud and all this kind of stuff. So the women, and it's sad because if it's true and if whatever the stories are true, the women often end up being the ones on the defense in rape allegations. But at the same time, you coming for Bill Cosby, so I have a feeling his camp is probably going to continue to try to discredit them as much as possible, and he seemed like he's just gonna keep trucking.
But then my thing is too, like after so many years, right? You've already, the 2006 stuff already happened, settled out of court, all that stuff. Why now are you 30 years, whatever, how many years later it is, coming out with this stuff?
Well, that's how it usually happens with rape cases, is it never happens within a 5-year to 10-year span. It usually comes out later in life when they have accepted it as themselves and gotten over it.
And then they want to tell their story, and then one came out, so the rest of them felt secure enough to start to come out and tell their stories too. So I don't know.
It's a lot of it's a lot of mess. There will not be a Bill Cosby lifetime story, I assume.
Oh, there will be a lifetime story of Bill Cosby.
There's going to be a rape story. How are they going to do those scenes?
Janice Dickinson meets Bill Cosby.
I was like, how are they doing those scenes?
Oh, that's
not making light of it, but how are they going to do those scenes? All right.
That's coming.
Well, that concludes.
In his Patchwork Road with his malt liquor.
With his malt liquor. That concludes this week today. I want to give a special shout out to Coco, Naomi TV. We love you, Coco. You always stay consistent with giving us some storylines to talk about, also giving us feedback on the shows and what we need to improve and what you love. So we want to give you a special shout out. Thank you for that. Courtney, where can fans find you on social media?
In my skin. Social media, find me on Instagram and Twitter at Stewart Starlet.
Jesse?
DJ Jesse J.
And you can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also remember to go to the buzz meter question, which is, did you like the biopic of Aaliyah? I said what I had to say. They said what they had to say. We want to know what you have to say. And also remember to go to iTunes and continue to give us ratings and comments because we do appreciate that. Everyone have a great weekend. We're not going to be here next week because of Thanksgiving, but we will be back on December 5th. So eat hearty, get some sleep on, and get your turkey on. Happy Thanksgiving.
From producers Maria Menounos, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.